So hello my dear aspirants, a very warm welcome to all. I hope everyone is doing great and preparing well, studying well, okay, and staying hydrated. So I welcome you all to our official channel where I'm your mentor Shubhankar, and today I've brought an important session for you where we are going to discuss the various opportunities that you have after you're a graduate or you're going to become a graduate. So what are the things that we can do after graduation that we are going to discuss? And the main motive for today's session is to make you aware about a very competitive exams which everyone, most of the aspirants takes every year in India, and that is your bank exams. So in this session, you'll learn how to get into those bank exams and what are the various needs that we need to fulfill in order to get in. So let's start our session. So in this session, all of your doubts would be cleared. If you go and check sessions which talks about bank exams, so generally they talk about only two main departments of examinations. But here I'm going to give you the entire roadmap of different other banks as well. So stay tuned, watch the video till the end to know each and everything in full detail. Okay, so bank exams are competitive, right? But with the right strategy, resources, and consistent effort, you can achieve success. So let's explore how to get into this competitive environment and what are the ways in which we can conquer this particular exam. Starting with, let's understand what are the exams that you can target. So most cases, people will tell you about only two exams, that is your SBI and IBPS. But for you, there are a lot other exams which I have brought you here. And why is that I have brought all these exams? Because most of these exams has common syllabus. Most of the syllabus of all these recruitment exams are very much similar to each other. So we have a good chance to clear multiple exams in a row, right? So let's talk about bank. So generally in bank, we have the most, awaited exam, that is your RBI grade B and assistant. So this is the most prestigious exam in bank. After that, we have your NABARD grade A and grade B. Then we have SBI, PO, CBO, JA, apprentice, and so on. And along with that, we have IBPS, PO, SO, and this is IBPS RRB, PO, Scale 2 officer, Scale 1 officer, and so on. And then we have SIDBI, then we have individual banks like IDBI, PNB, BOB, Canara Bank. Generally, these individual banks, they are recruited through IBPS exam. So what happens is when you give this particular exam IBPS, you get some marks, and based on that marks, you secure some rank. And based on that rank, you are given the preference of the banks. So in your application form, you need to fill the wanted bank names. Like you're putting Canara Bank at the top, then you have Bank of India, okay, and then you have Central Bank of India, and so on. You put the list, and based on your rank, they'll allot you those particular bank. Next, we have similar but a bit different insurance exams. So here, most of the part of these two exams are similar, and just the difference comes when you give the second stage of the exam. So we'll understand what are the stages as well. But let me give you a brief about the exam that we are talking. In insurance, we have LIC, NIAL, NICL, LICHFL, GIC, UIIC, IRDAI, and so on. These are insurance exams, which also pays you a very handsome salary. Then we have others. Okay, so these are generally your mutual funds and other exams like central funds, right? We have SEBI, ESIC, EPFO, FCI, CWC, ECGC, and so on. Right, now let's understand. We have understood what are the exams that we can give. Now let's understand which are the exams that can be given in a short interval of time, in a medium interval of time, and in a long interval of time. So based on that, I have segregated these exams in terms of easy, moderate, and difficult. So what are the easy exams? Easy exams is only because of the duration that you can cover this exam syllabus in less duration. So those are your clerk, clerical level exams. You have RRB clerk, IBPS clerk, SBI, JA, LIC assistant, and so on. So these are the exams which comes under syllabus coverage under less time duration. Then we have medium level exam, which we call it moderate, and those are your IBPS PO, RRB PO, SBI CBO, IBPS SO, and so on. So these are your moderate level exams. Okay, here you'll need some more time to cover the syllabus, and also the difficulty level is also a bit higher as compared to these exams. And lastly, we have difficult. So this particular exam, it's not that you have to give 2-3 years to crack it. No, it is possible to crack it in 1 year, but it totally depends on your consistency and how much effort you're putting in. So we have RBI Grade B, we have NABARD, SIDB, SEBI, EPFO. So if you see the sequence that are given, this is the sequence based on the exam. Like IBPS PO is a bit tougher than RRB PO and so on. So this is the list, so you can take a snapshot of it. Okay, right. Let's talk about the salary, because at the end of the day, what matters to us is salary. We'll get the job and now we want the salary. So based on the salary also, you can decide which exam you want to target. So less than 50,000, okay, your starting salary we are talking about, enhanced salary, is for RRB clerk, IBPS clerk, SBIJ, SBI apprentice. Right, so generally this apprentice is not a permanent recruitment, but still it comes under recruitment exam. That's why I have put it in. So these are the main permanent recruitment exams. And if you want to get a salary between 50,000 to 1 lakh, then you can focus on these exams. I would not read out the names. It'll be a long video. You can take it out. You can take a snapshot of it. And then if you want to go for exams which pays you more than 1 lakh in a month, then these are the exams that you should focus on. Okay? Let's move to the next one. Okay. Okay, so just a minute. Yeah. So now we have talked about salary. Let's talk about the exam pattern, various stages which are involved to qualify this exam. So firstly, my friend, in generally this exams, bank, insurance exams, you have to go through 3 stages. So first one is your preliminary exam, preliminary stage, where you'll see the topic that they are giving more focus is on your English language, quantitative aptitude, and reasoning ability. Okay, so generally total questions out here is 100, out of which they have segregated the questions as such that in English you have 30 questions to attempt, in quants you have 35, and reasoning you have 35. Okay, but last year if you see for IBPS exam, they have changed this pattern. So what they did is they put 40 questions here and they made this 30-30. So sometimes they changes, but roundabout most exam they have this particular pattern only. So to solve these questions, you'll get total 1 hour. And there is a sectional timing. So one section, to complete one section, you'll get 20 minutes. Okay, then another section 20, and so on, you'll get for 60 minutes. So 1 hour is enough to decide your future. This is your preliminary stage where most of the students, they appear. After preliminary, and also one more thing, this preliminary exam is just qualifying in nature. The marks does not carry in your final merit list. So you just need to qualify it. So you just have to go through the cutoff, and based on that you have to do your attempts. Now if I talk about IBPS exam, in IBPS exam they have sectional cutoff as well. Because what happens is most of the students, okay, they focus on maths and reasoning. Like for boys, most of them I've seen, they do not focus on English much. So they try to score as much as possible from maths and reasoning, and in English they just attempt some questions because they make some silly mistakes there. So you cannot do that in terms of IBPS exam. In IBPS you have sectional cutoff as well, so you have to attempt minimum number of questions in those cases. But if you talk about SBI, there you do not have a sectional cutoff. You have an overall cutoff, so it totally depends on you which section you want to attempt more. Next, after preliminary, after you qualify your prelims, then you have to go for the mains examination. So I have brought here the mains examination pattern for bank exams. Okay, so out here also you'll have reasoning, okay, you'll have English, you'll have maths, but generally in maths we were calling quants. Here you won't have quants. Here you'll have a topic which is called data analysis and interpretation. Okay, so it's a bit different. English language we have reasoning, and here one more subject adds up, which is your general economy, banking awareness or financial awareness. Now this particular part that you see, it differs for different exam. Like if you're giving an insurance exam, instead of banking awareness here, you'll be having insurance awareness. Okay, and similarly for SEBI, you'll have mutual awareness and so on. So this is an example of bank exam. Okay, and in mains, you have questions which carry, some questions carries 2 marks and some questions carries 1 mark. But when we talk about prelims, there is only 1 marks allotted to you for right answer, and they'll give you a negative 0.25 if you make a wrong answer attempt. So it is always, ask students to not attempt the questions which they are not sure of, because you'll end up getting negative marks. Okay, and similarly in mains you'll have 2 marks question as well and 1 marks question as well. So here is given the entire roadmap, so you can see through it, and the total duration is 160 minutes. So they have time allotment for each section. Okay, and also they have negative mark. So like for 1 mark, for 2 marks question they'll be deducting around about 0.5 marks, and for 1 mark they'll be deducting 0.25 marks. That's the main game in terms of your mains. Here also you have sectional cutoff and also an overall cutoff which you have to clear. Okay, so next part. Now next part is the last stage, which is your interview. Now in interview, if you qualify mains, okay, with decent score, then it's like a sure chance that you'll be getting into the bank. So for interview, students, they do not worry so much. There are very rare cases when student goes for interview and they do not get selected. That only happens when you're not scoring well in your mains. So that's why it is quite convenient for you to understand the importance of mains exam. But obviously we have to qualify prelims first. So after prelims only we'll be giving the mains. But mains should be given more focus afterwards. Okay, and then we have interview, and then there is a medical test which eventually everyone go through it. Next. Now if you talk about syllabus, we'll talk about these things in a detailed session. Okay, so now we have understood how to join bank. So in order to join bank exam, simply you have to give exams every year in most of the month from March till October month. You'll get the recruitment dates for various examination. You have to fill the form, you have to go and appear the exam, and then you have to wait for the result, and then you have to give for the second stage. So every year recruitment exams takes place for SBI, IBPS, RRB, and so on. Every year there are a good number of vacancies. That's why most of the students, they appear every year. Okay, and these are the syllabus. So we'll talk about the roadmap and strategy to crack the exam in the next video. So this video was just an awareness video for you to understand what is bank exam and what are the exams that you can focus. Right? I have not talked only about 2 to 3 exams. I have given you the entire roadmap of different examinations that you can focus. Now in the next video, I'll be making you understand how and what are the ways you can prepare and from where you can get the free materials to prepare. Okay, so these are the syllabus which we'll discuss in the next session. This is the timetable. Everything we'll discuss in the next session in terms of strategy. So what are the final tips for success? So out here, to crack bank exam, you have to be very much consistent, my friend. If you're not consistent, then it will be very difficult for you to crack the exam. So consistency is the main key to crack bank exam. Okay, and this portions, whatever we have, this we'll discuss in the next part, which would be the strategy to crack bank exam in your very first attempt. And I'll bring such fruitful resources for you, explaining each and everything in detail. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe to our channel to know more. In this video, we have discussed what are the exams that we can focus and how to get into this exam. In the next video, we'll understand how to get in by proper strategy. What are the strategies we can follow? And I'll make a video where I'll showcase what is the strategy for students who are preparing for full time and what is the strategy for students who are preparing as a part time, who are working and preparing as well. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, like, and also share with your friends so that even they know that here we are going to discuss each and everything in detail and also conquer any exams with full potential. So thank you and stay tuned. Bye-bye.